welcome to Timeless Flux. My name is Sabini, and today we have a reading called People Talk, but Should You Listen? I really love the title of this reading, and it came to me when I was listening to a podcast, and the presenter said, People talk, but you do you. Let them talk, something to that extent. And of course, I was in tune with this idea, and throughout this specific day, I was in touch with a series of serendipitous events that led me to meditate and focus on that, because I've been feeling an energy of so much information, incoming information, and sometimes it's hard to understand whether people are coming towards us with guidance, exercising channeling abilities, or the role of God ministers, really, and God angels on earth, bringing us knowledge, information, pieces of advice we really need to listen to, or whether this is just noise, that sometimes reflect whatever kind of challenge we're working through in our lives, and serves as mirrors of our own tensions, our own challenges, as I've said, but also our own fears. So sometimes it's hard to navigate and filter whether what we listen, what people say, no matter how well intentioned it is, should be really considered as a sign, as a piece of valid information, valuable information or not. And furthermore, if we should base our decisions on that. And sometimes our filter, due to our levels of energy, gets a little low. And our criteria may not be to its best, due to this energetic imbalance, or maybe the energy frequency is not that attuned to our mission on Earth. And it really happens throughout the day, so it's hard to understand whether we should listen or not. So I was not going to record a reading for this week specifically to upload in this week specifically when it's being uploaded. It's even it's probably going to be a bit late in my normal uploading schedule, because I was traveling for my other work, the other work that I do in the world, which is a volunteer work in the editing business, in the publishing business, better saying. I have a small publishing house for which I work as a volunteer. It's a social project, and it's been a lot of work during this past 2 weeks. But this idea of learning how to filter and understanding how to work with our own energetic levels, so to know how far can we go with the idea of you do you, and listening, and what resonates and what does not resonate, and understanding what's intuitive and what's purely and simple noise more than imaginative. How to work with that is truly important, right? So during my trip, I had lots of practice, and I thank for that. I'm truly thankful to Spirit for that. Lots of practice on listening to lots of people, because it was an event, and having to go through the motions of connecting to my intuition and understanding the whole concept implied by the title of this reading, People Talk, but Should I Listen? So I really hope that this reading is useful. And I want to stop a little, just pause to give an announcement before we enter pile selection. The piles today are pre-shuffled. I'll get back to that. But I want to make an announcement, because I'm really excited to tell you that I'm going to have the first collaboration on this channel, and this is going to be a collab with chemistry with Kismet, which is a channel by Monica. And we just started. I've been following her channel for a while now. It is a reader I truly admire, and her work is amazing. I just her readings are incredibly accurate. Every time I go watch a reading, it's like a whole new world of confirmation and connection opens up for me. And I was really pleased when we started getting together and interchanging to prepare this collaboration that's going to launch, be uploaded next week. I truly hope that you take the most advantage of this work that's being prepared so carefully and so connected to the moment that we're living this season. And of course, it's a timeless reading. It will be a timeless reading. But I really, truly believe that it's going to speak directly to the moment we're living right now. We never know, because we're here to serve and honor spirit the best way we can. So we can never know how far our work here is going to go and whom it's going to reach, which is part of the beauty of this work and why I love doing it. But I'm truly thankful for this collaboration with Monica in Chemistry with Kismet. It was beautiful. Our encounter is beautiful, and I hope you have a chance to take a look at our video. So it's going to be 2 videos, one by me and one by Monica in Chemistry with Kismet. And I'm not going to talk about the theme yet. I'm going to have some teasers posted by the end of this week. And but I truly believe the topic is going to be something that is going to interest you, and I'm really excited. I'm really anticipating what I really want to know what you think about it. It's been a beautiful process. So this is my big announcement. It's also my first announcement, I think, or my second announcement on the channel. So I'm excited about the announcement. I'm excited about the collab, and I'm truly thankful to Monica about this opportunity of working together, and to Spirit for putting her on my path at such an important moment for this channel, coming back after almost a year and a half in which I haven't posted anything, and for this moment in my life. Okay, so coming back to pile selection, they are not marked by any crystal today, because I heard that it was important for you to meditate on the image of these cards alone here. This is the Keeper Oracle, okay, and these cards are going to indicate what are people talking about, and also who is talking about, like as if in groups of people, maybe one person. I don't know what's going to come. I haven't seen the cards, even if I've pre-shuffled them. So I was told you should just maybe freeze the screen, take your time to select one or more piles for this specific reading. And these cards here that are on top of each pile are going to talk about the themes that are being talked about in this, what people say, people are talking, and also what kind of person is talking to you, okay? And we are working with the amethyst today for a little bit of transmutation and transformation. This amethyst in particular is a stone I normally use whenever there are more inconclusive energies I want to transmute. So I thank her a lot for her participation in this reading. I was also called to work with this broom here, which is actually a Christmas broom that was then consecrated and prepared to serve as my own particular witch broom, and to also do this for the beginning of your selection, just to help us get rid of any kind of energy. And I'm swiping right, which is normally something that I do not do. I normally swipe left. But because I was told that energies for this reading need to be set into motion and not necessarily dispersed at this moment, okay? I'm also working with an incense I got during this trip, which is a combination of herbs. It's also purple, that help transmute energies and bring clarity about communication specifically. So with no further ado, you can select your pile, your option. This is option number 1. This is option number 2, option number 3, option number 4. I'm going to give you some minutes. I believe this is going to be a very quick, short, and sweet reading, but one never knows with this kind of reading or any other reading, to be honest. But I was told this was not going to be a long reading, so please focus on the piles you want to choose, or this could be one or more piles for this specific reading. And let's see what people are talking about and whether you should listen or not. So if you've chosen your pile, let's start with pile number 1. Okay, so if you've chosen pile number 1, this is your reading. We're going to start with this card, and I was also told I shouldn't turn all the cards at once, because it is important for this reading that you see all the cards very carefully and work with their symbolism. So I'm going to do my best so that you can see them all in detail. So the first card we have here is number 10, and this is the Journey card. Okay? So what I'm hearing for you, pile number 1, is that the people talking, or of course there are a lot of people bringing messages, but the messages being addressed by this spread specifically are messages from people that are not normally a part of your everyday life. You may be thinking it's even strange that these people are addressing you at this moment, or that these messages are coming so loud and clear and repetitively. They may even be coming indirectly through emails, social media posting. They could be showing up in channels that you, for one reason or the other, started following, and now for some reason every time you enter social media, they are the first things on your feed. They are the first posts on your feed. They could be showing up on emails. They could be showing up on phone calls. Maybe I think this is less traditional, but I'm hearing that too. They could be, more specifically for some of you, groups that you've just entered. But there's a clear indication of distance here with this Journey card. And what I'm seeing is that answering the question, should you listen? People talk, but should you listen? It's like, for these messages that come from afar, this is how I'm hearing. They come from afar because they are not being brought by intimate people. They come from afar because they are new somehow in your life. They come from afar. They could even be referring to trips, to journey more directly. And then this is a very specific confirmation for some of you listening to this reading right now. But they don't have to be. It's just there's a feeling of distance somehow, whether because these people are not intimate, because they're famous, because they're part of, because it's social media related, because it's a recurring theme on your feeds, because maybe it's a publication that you've just subscribed to, and then there are recurring topics. Maybe they're coming through songs. This is also a possibility. But there's a topic, there's a message that's been repeating. And what I'm hearing is the topic, maybe you're focusing on the topic, and the topic is not the most important thing. It's not what you should be listening to. Maybe you're over focusing on the topic, but the true message here is you need to expand. That's why these messages are not coming from intimate people or from closer to home. This is how they're saying, and it's so cute the way my guides are expressing on this matter. It's like they're saying, what we're trying to say with these signs, with these messages, is not necessarily what the people or the posts or we are not talking about. Don't focus so much on the semantic meanings. Focus more on what this card suggests, that you need to expand, that you need to undergo a journey, that wherever you are in the world right now, or whatever you consider to be your comfort zone, on spatial terms, need to be broadened, need to be expanded. These messages are coming from people who are not intimate, from a distance, from unusual settings or in unusual ways, because you need to explore different spaces, different worlds, different countries, different cultures. Do not focus as much on the content of the messages, but do focus on a need of expanding your horizons. See what the messages have in common. And what they have in common is not necessarily the topic, but it's more of this sense of coming from afar. And then I think that if you're resonating with what I'm saying so far, you are probably already feeling the need for expansion within, you know. You're probably already feeling this need of exploring new landscapes, internal and external landscapes. But this card is talking about a real need for an external journey, be it because you're going to undertake new courses, you're going to explore new neighborhoods in your city. Maybe some of these messages that come, or some of these things people are saying, they are going to suggest places, and once you listen to them, yes, I always wanted to go to this place. I always wanted to experiment with this practice. So let me try to give you an example. Let's say that every time you open your Instagram, there's a post by someone called at, I don't know, Girly Witch. And you don't know why. You've just followed Girly Witch, or you didn't even follow Girly Witch. Maybe it's in a news tab. There's a news tab there, right? And every time you go to the news tab or to the, the highlights tab, I don't know how to say it in English, there's something by this at Girly Witch. And then you're getting interested by the topics, but Girly Witch posts a lot about romance, and then you're focusing on the content of the posts, romance. And what they're saying is you shouldn't be focusing on the content, which is romance, which is finding true love or your soulmate, whatever you want to, whatever you believe when it comes to romantic relationships. You should be focusing on the fact that there's a new person entering your life via social media, Instagram, and it comes from afar. It's distance from your reality. It's not an intimate person. You don't know exactly why Girly Witch is always there. and and maybe you're someone who is interested in witchcraft, and this is something you wanted to explore. And maybe this Girly Witch is someone from Australia, and you always wanted to go to Australia, and maybe now it's the time to start, investigating Australian culture and thinking about taking a trip to Australia. And if this is not a possibility, maybe there's a course related to Australian culture you could take, or some kind of Australian traditional magical practice that you want to investigate. It's something like that. They're saying, of course, it doesn't have to be this specific example. Maybe you start getting these emails that are related to, I don't know, job opportunities in Timbuktu. I don't know. And then you're focusing on job opportunities. Oh, maybe I need to get an extra job or a different job. And then they say, focus more on the fact that they're coming from Timbuktu. Maybe you want to add adventure to your life. Maybe you want to take a look at opportunities that come from afar. Maybe that's why emails are coming from afar, to just let you know that there are opportunities in distant shores, that you're not reduced to your current environment. This is what they're saying. Whatever people are saying, maybe you're even disconsidering, because it seems so random, and it's not coming from intimate people in your life. People are talking, but they are coming from afar in formats that are, of course, this could be people really that you meet, but then you would meet them at a bakery shop, just like en passant. They would not be people that you know, and they're talking about subjects that are not really, that do not hit home in your everyday concerns. But then they talk about traveling. They talk about this I don't know, they talk about a different part in the city, and somehow it all connects to distance, to expansion, to something that's trying to tell you you need to broaden the scope through which you're seeing life. And this is the real message, okay? Now let's see what Tarot has to say about that. I have the Seven of Wands. This is beautiful. And this Seven of Wands, they said you needed to see the image, is represented not by the traditional 7 wands in which you kind of only see the defending yourself, defending your values, etc. Even if this meaning is, of course, still here, but it's a path, you see? It's a path in the woods, clearly signaled by these tall and beautiful trees, which have a tint of red to it. So talking about the first chakra also, okay? So yeah, there's a need to follow and defend a path of exploration. Whatever you're listening to, it doesn't seem that comfortable, that that intimate. It's not something that you're used to consider when you take your decisions, and it's not coming from someone you would trust. It's someone new. It's someone. It could be a content. I actually think that for most of you, it's a content producer of some sort. It could be a post. I'm not going to start repeating myself here, but I'm clearly seeing images of posts, of content producers online, of emails. There's a digital influence here. And then instead of focusing on the content is really going to be adaptable to each of the persons, each of the people here listening, each of you listening, and your life conditions right now. So do not focus that much on the content, but focus on this expansion idea, on the need to go on a journey and expand your current endeavors. Expand, not necessarily change, but see how can they be escalated, how can they be broadened. This is the message, because you see, there's a need to defend your passion for exploration. This is what the Seven of Wands is doing here. There's a need to find new ways of expanding whatever you're already doing. And this is what these people are saying that you should listen to. Now let's see which other card we have. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which matches beautifully. We have two sevens here. So beyond being a number that talks about exploration, movement, and which is a sacred part of your mission, a sacred number in this whole sacred geometry concept. It is also the number that talks about the year 2023. So if you are watching this video, the moment is being uploaded, even if it's a timeless reading, so you can disregard that if you're watching at any other time. But if you're watching this video the time it's being posted, there's also a clear message here that for 2023, a lot of new avenues of exploration are going to be opened. So whatever people are saying right now, these people that you would normally not consider because they're not intimate or because they're just digital references, etc. They could even be tarot readers, right? Or any other kind of guidance you find online. Whatever you're listening to, and there's an indication that for 2023 or for the next phase in your life, you will need to find your very specific path of expanding, which will then implicate in cutting some of the options you had open for the previous moment, or more specifically for 2022, because the Seven of Pentacles talks about having multiple choices that can become a little bit overwhelming in your current life, and it's in reverse. Okay, so this card to me is talking about maybe you've been trying over the past few months to just organize whatever you already have going on. And this has kind of created a constrained environment that now you need to go out of, expand, select the path that really talks to your heart, and find new avenues of exploration out of your current environment. But in order to do that, you will need to let go of whatever's been keeping you within the realm of your comfort zone. Okay, so what I see is, and I'm going to give yet another concrete example. You could for example manage a school, and then this school has lots of projects already launched in the world. You could be the director of this school. But the school, of course, because of the complexity of the many projects you're involved and coordinating and managing, has become a confined environment. So you start listening to people out of your comfort zone, distant, coming from different countries. Sorry, you guys, I got cut here by a notification on my cell phone. But coming back, you manage the school, and the school has lots of different projects, and then these projects in their complexity, they become this sort of closed system in which you now try to navigate and try to take care and organize everything that's going on. It became kind of a suffocating circle, a little bit, of chores that you have to you have to organize every day. It's a little bit overwhelming, okay? But you already know within these tasks what's your core business and what needs to be expanded. Problem is, it's impossible to expand unless you get open a little room for maneuver, and it implies letting go of some of these projects, or at least delegating some of these projects to other members of your team. And if you don't have a team, finding people you can delegate these projects to. In some cases, for some of you, it could mean that you need to let go of some of these projects because it would be hard to find people to delegate to. I really see that if you've chosen this pile, you could find people to delegate some of the things that you've been invested on, so that you don't have to, simply give up on some of these initiatives, or just, wrap them up and finish them so that you can find your own path of expansion. But the thing is, expansion is only going to happen once you focus on whatever you need to be doing and follow your passion. And it doesn't mean that whatever you've been doing in this closed system here was not for you or closed, or anything. It's just that it's too much. It became too much due to its own process and cycle of growth and complexification, okay? So now it's a moment to optimize, and it's a moment to narrow down. And narrowing down comes from a process of understanding what it is that is your true passion, or in more administrative to managerial terms, what's the core service. I think most of you already know what's the core service, what's the core mission, what's the core activity that only you can do, that is your mission in the world. And these messages, this people that seem kind of distant are talking. They could be talking about many different things, but they are distant. They are out of your comfort zone because they are trying to indicate that you too should go out of your comfort zone by traveling, by experimenting in new spaces, by not being afraid to expand, because you need to take this passion here, this core activity that you're already doing, and run with it. In order to run with it, you need to let go or delegate some of the other activities you've been invested on. Now I have one more tarot card, and this is the Page of Cups, okay? This process of narrowing down and running with your main activity towards the exploration of new pathways is going to require lots of self-care. And you see, in this image here, we have this pretty skeleton looking at itself in a mirror, right? Let me check, yeah. And it's kind of like the mirror, the reflection talks about, drips over the skeleton whatever it needs to know about its own personality, its own passion, its own essence. So these messages, these people are kind of mirroring back to you your need for expansion. You're an adventurous soul. Whatever you've been building so far is beautiful, is relevant, is important, and you may be a little too over-attached to its results, because whatever system of activities you have going on in your life now is really beautiful. It's a fruit of your hard work, but you cannot become too attached to it, to the detriment of whatever is your core activity, your core service. It's like you've already expanded in the past, but then it became a closed circle. Now it's time for a new expansion and finding a new paths, so that this core service activity can grow in different parts of the world, in different ways, in different parts, different areas. It could be expressed in many different ways. And what people are talking is less important than the expansion message they're bringing. You could be doing this in other areas. You could be doing this in different places. You could be doing this in different formats, okay? I also have a card from the Romance Angels Oracle, not because this is necessarily going to talk about romance, but because I find this oracle to bring us insights on any kind of relationship. So I wanted to check on the relationship between these people that are talking and you, the role that they are assuming in your life right now, just like a wrap up, because we started talking about that with the journey card, and now I just want to get an extra piece of confirmation to close up this reading. And the card I have here is unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So this card here is really being used as a metaphor, okay? And with unrequited love and this journey here, I see that whenever you listen to these messages from non-intimate people, you know, that talk about, that come from distant places, that come from distant shores, from distant contexts, etc., as we were talking about here, you may feel a little bit. There are many ways this can express emotionally, but it touches you in a way that could be represented by a little bit of an envious feeling, or maybe you look at these people and that show up on your timeline, etc., as we were talking, and you think, I would really like to expand I would really like to be in these people's shoes, but I'm not good enough. It maybe triggers your self-esteem, and then we talked about the need for self-care here, and for the kind of mirroring your self-care and self-expression needs, right? So maybe I'm not good enough to be like them. Maybe I feel like I want to expand. I want to be like them, but I couldn't. Or maybe I would never be a part of their circle. Maybe you're focusing on what they're saying more than on your needs for expansion, because you feel like you could never be a part of this specific group. Maybe they even feel distant because you feel like you could never be a part of this specific group of people, or you're very different from this specific person that you started to follow. I hope you understand my meaning. But what they're saying with this card is, take a look at how these messages talking about expansion are talking about your own need to be adventurous, okay? Whatever you have going on here that is already established has become your sort of bubble. And the fear of expanding is making you consider these messages almost as a threat sometimes, and triggering feelings of lack of worth and unsafety and insecurity that then bring you back to this overwhelming feeling. Everything you can do is take care of what you're already taking care on the system of activities you have going on every day here. When what these messages are doing, what these people are saying, is supposed to be understood as an invitation for exploration, okay? But in order to explore, to find your path with your core activity, you need to have less of a baggage, to delegate on some of the things that you're doing that are not a part of your core mission on this earth, and to really go out of your comfort zone in spatial terms, I'm hearing more than anything. So if you manage the school that I was giving as an example, maybe you will be teaching about whatever you did at the school in different neighborhoods as a means of expanding, of sharing your knowledge with other people. And when you listen to these messages to these people, you think, oh, maybe this does not apply to me because I'm not really into, I'm a person who directs a school, who manages a school. I'm not really someone who would who is ready to talk about my experience. It only applies here. And they're saying this is not true. You can expand. You can visit other schools. You can become a master in whatever you're doing. And you can transform the quality of your main activity without losing its essence. More than that, your soul's craving for expansion. Okay? So I hope I could deliver this message clearly, and I hope it was useful to you. Please let me know how it applies to your current situation, because I'm really, really curious. And if you enjoyed it, do not forget to, aside from letting me know, give a like, share. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel to receive other messages like this. And I hope to see you soon in another reading. Bye-bye. Okay, so if you've chosen pile number 2 for people talk, but should you listen? For your pile, I have 2 cards that are going to indicate what people are talking about, maybe some characteristics, who are these people and what, where they're coming from, etc. Just as a means to confirm if this is really your pile, if it really resonates or not. I have 2 cards for you, and I think this is the only pile I have 2 cards for. And I was told you really need to see the cards and to appreciate their details. So I'm going to try to show them to you the best I can. And I was also told to show them, to turn the cards one by one. So let's do this process carefully. The first card I have is number 39, community, indicating that we're talking about a group of people. But more than that, I can already see that these readings are going to be surprisingly beautiful and very different from each other. More than that, these people talking that we're going to refer to in this reading, they're very known to you. You respect their opinion very much. Probably for most of you, we are talking about your family. It doesn't really sound to me like we're talking about a soul family, but more of a family of origin kind of vibe, because we have the 12 here. So this would be your main perspective in life, the perspective in life from which you've created your ego, your main persona, or at least the karmic persona you're working with in this incarnation. Okay, so it's the baseline persona, and your baseline people, your family of origin. Okay, it sounds like that, but of course this could be a group of people that echoes the first experience you had with in a community, which is your family of origin. Doesn't have to be your family of origin, but whomever's talking is close to your heart, in the sense that it is your family of origin, or it hits home, it triggers the opinions of your family of origin. It happens a lot throughout our lives that we find bosses, friends, groups of friends that echo the experiences, the opinions, the style, communicative style, the themes that we were brought up with, right? So this is the kind of situation I see. And I'm being called to highlight the elements in the picture here. So I see at least one very strong male presence and at least one very strong female presence. And these people are very, very traditional. Okay, now these elements here, there's also a child, and there are also probably for some of you money issues concerned in these messages, but that doesn't have to be the case. These representations here echo tradition slash Latin in broader terms. Okay, so this could be European roots. Maybe this is a confirmation for some of you too. And the other card we have for your pile is number 27, unexpected income. So yeah, money issues. With number 37, we have a transformation regarding money and and an unexpected income. Could be talking about proprietary issues, could be talking about inheritance, could be talking about what I mean to say by proprietary issues is like property issues in general, unexpected income coming from inheritance, okay? This could be talking about the classic situation of who's going to get the money after someone dies, and if someone has just recently passed away in your family, I want to extend my votes for a clear, a true and peaceful passage for your family member. If this is not your family of origin, then this could be a resembling inheritance like situation that's not necessarily connected to money. So let's say that we are talking about a group of people in your work, and this could be talking about a transition in positions. There's a valuable position which implies more income, right? Which implies a raise. And there's been a dispute, gossip, coffee break, conversation on who is going to get the job once person A, person B, person C goes on that travel, becomes an expatriate, you know, you name it. Maybe a little bit of a dispute. Maybe there's a promotion due to someone transitioning in his, her career, in their career. But with number 27 here, what I feel is that this kind of communication, be it in your family of origin or in an environment, I really want to make this clear. This could be an environment that echoes money issues that you faced in your family of origin. I feel that if you resonate with your group, when it comes to what people are saying, they are talking about money, they are talking about material gain, they are talking about prestige gain, prestigious gain in terms of a position, of a place in life, of fame of some sort, that bring material gain, that brings status and stability of some sort of material stability. And this was a concern in your family of origin. So that's why it's triggering you a feeling of loneliness, of once again I have to deal with that. Once again I have to deal with money being put as something more important than personal relationships. It could even be triggering a situation in which you feel, I thought that among this group of people I was creating true friendship. I had true friends, and now that I see this gossip, now that I see this, that I feel this level of unsafety here, be it a professional environment, this could even be happening amongst friends. Let's say that you work as volunteers, or not even that, it doesn't have to be related to work, but among this group of friends there's kind of this natural leader, and then this person is going to travel, change status, is going to get married, and then there's this tension about who's going to be the next leader, because this person decides on the places you go, etc. And there's kind of this rupture of the friendship feeling, of the connection feeling, because money somehow, material gain somehow became the focus with this gossip, right? And you're feeling lonely in this process if you resonate with this situation. But this is the kind of situation I see. And for you, I have two cards to explain the more complex panorama of who's talking, who could be talking for the many people watching this reading, and what they're talking about. But I have only one tarot card, and this tarot card is the Nine of Swords upright. Okay? Well, with the Knight of Swords, this representation of the Knight of Swords brings a book. And for some reason, I hope it's in focus. For some reason, this book It's coming to me like the universal book of knowledge, or maybe a Bible, depending on how you represent those things. I'm being called to tell you that you shouldn't listen to these people because, first of all, it is causing you a lot of pain, a lot of conflict. I understand that it's very hard for you not to listen to these people because they seem to be coming from a grounded and even objective point of view in life, because they're talking about money, they're talking about material things, they're talking about prestige. But what I see here is that you already know that whatever material concerns are being expressed here, they are an illusion. What's true to this situation is the bond of affection that connects you to these people. And I'm not trying to say, and tarot and our guides are not reinforcing the attitude of these people in the sense of, how can I put it? They are not trying to make the situation better than it looks and sounds, right? And not even trying to say that these people are not responsible for the attitudes that they're having right now. But there is a true bond of affection that connects you to these people. And it's kind of like you should focus on this bond, forgive these people for whatever more materialistic attitude that they're having in this situation, and not listen to their concerns at this moment. Kind of choose the higher ground is what they're saying. Because with the Nine of Swords here, it's like, it's possible that you've been losing your sleep over matters that do not speak to your true nature. They are more invested in the possible gains they will have, and maybe even trying to warn you. Please join the conversation. Please enter our same level of energy here. Please come back and discuss. You can also be benefited by this inheritance, by this promotion, by this position there. I see people trying to make you as worried and as anxious about the turning of events as they are. And this is being detrimental to your health, to your mental health, to your physical health. They are really not separated. They are not divisible like that. And you already know that. Probably for most of you listening to this group, it's affecting your sleep already, because the Nine of Swords talk about that. It's affecting your sleep. It's affecting it's tinting your perspective on life, and it's causing you a feeling of loneliness that is an illusion. It is an illusion brought by the situation. So your task right now, for lack of a better word, is to focus on the bonds of affection that still get you connected to these people, ignoring the content of the message, ignoring the alluring possibility that they are right, because they're focusing on objective materialistic traits. Okay, it's not as objective as it looks. It's based on a lack mentality. It's based on a fear of not surviving. Everyone's going to survive and be well in this situation. It's based on the fear of not being enough. It's based on the fear of being left behind in whatever kind of negotiation is going on here. And you do not have to adhere to their fears. You do not have to adhere to this conversation in order to be polite. You can simply retreat. You can simply listen to them and follow your own path, understanding that it's causing you harm to even sometimes feel responsible if you do not engage. You are not responsible for engaging in this situation. I have a card here from the Romance Angels Oracle, but this card is here not necessarily to talk about romance, but because I find that this oracle brings interesting messages when it comes to relationships apart from the romantic realm, just because it talks about relationships very well. So it's going to be considered as a metaphor for whatever we've been talking to. And the card we have here is in reverse, and it's soulmate in it's soulmate in reverse. Yes, this is your soulmate. So as metaphors go, it's like this card is telling you these people in the energetic states they are right now, they are not mating, they are not matching your level of energy. When you listen to them talking about positions and prestige and money issues and inheritances, depending on the context we're talking about here, but this kind of situation, you know that they are over engaging in a material perspective of life that is only illusory. It's an illusion. So do not engage to the detriment of your health. People are talking, but should you listen? No. You should focus on the bonds of affection you have with these people and understand that right now they're a little bit out of sync with you. Follow your own perspectives. Keep on doing what you're already doing before this whole mess started. And this will dissolve on its own once these people deal with whatever they need to deal, whatever their karma is going on. You don't have to engage in this situation. This is what I have for you here. So, I have to say that even if this card is being considered metaphorically, if by any chance this group of people I have been talking about here is involved in a romantic situation, then this card is also an indication that maybe there is some lack of imbalance when it comes to this romantic relationship. So if we are talking about a partner insisting that you pay more attention to the financial aspects of a situation, if in this group of people there's also someone who you are romantically partnering with, then there's an extra level of advice when it comes to the status of your own romantic relationship. Consider whether you should have a conversation with this person. I'm not saying this is not your soulmate. In this case, this card is only metaphorical. But consider whether you should have an honest conversation with this person. Like, you shouldn't be trying to change who I am when it comes to how I understand money and practical matters. I prefer not to engage in this kind of competition for money and positions, etc. This is who I am. Please respect my position, okay? So this is what I have for you guys. I hope I made myself clear and the message got through the way Spirit intended. Thank you so much for listening to this reading and for coming to my channel. I hope it helped, and please let me know about the particularities of your situation. I always like to know, if you feel free to do so. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more messages like this. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. Okay, if you've chosen option number 3, this is your reading, and I was told that you needed to see the cards very, very in detail, because details are important. So let's see. People are talking, what people are talking about, which is going to be indicated by this card, and if you should listen. Okay, this card is going to tell me who's talking about, or who's talking about what. And so far the readings have been very different, so I don't know which level of detail we're going to get from this card, but we are about to see. The card I have here is number 11. Number 11, sudden wealth. Okay? So we have another pile here talking about money. Maybe it is connected to your reading, maybe not. But if you feel drawn, if you felt drawn to watch another pile, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to influence you on this choice. But I would just say go for it. Because this is the second pile we have here talking about money matters. But this is a little bit different. I see that I cannot see in this card an indication of who is talking to you in this title, People Talk, okay? The only indication I have here is that it could be more than one person. It could be one person, or it could be the strong indicator I have here up to two people. It could be a couple, or it could be two totally unrelated people talking about the same subject. And this subject, as the card suggests, involves money. But the difference from the other pile talking about money that I see here is that with sudden wealth, I see these people or person recommending ways of earning a lot of money. Okay, so they're recommending ways of finally finding your biggest and brightest idea to earn a lot of money, and it has a scheme vibe to it. So let me show you the card again. It has a money scheme, almost Ponzi scheme vibe to it with this image here. Okay, I forgot the name of this machine. It's not a roulette. Is it? Is it a roulette in English, you say? I don't know. But it's a lucky game, right? So what I see is people, a person that you respect, or two people talking about a scheme to make money. Now, it doesn't have to be as direct as that. It could be people talking about the best way to conduct your business, or pointing at flaws, talking about methodologies, talking about what you should be doing in your social media to have more than followers, more than likes, and actually converting that to money. It could be people talking about how to convert I don't know, passive subscribers to active subscribers, but it all reduces to wealth and sudden wealth. Sudden is a very important word, it's a key word here, okay? I'm hearing. And it's really attractive, okay? It has a glittery but not gold vibe to it, which already indicates up to which point you should be listening to it, right? Because when we talk about not all that glitters is gold, which is even an oracle card from another deck that I truly love, we are talking about those ideas that things do not take work to develop, ideas that seem, let me put it here so that you can see, I think you can see it better if I put it here. We're talking about those ideas that seem to be amazing and seem to be highly connected to co-creating with the universe, but they're normally truly not, because miracles do happen, they do occur, but they imply co-creation. They imply a level of work which is intense, but not necessarily an effort in the way we understand effort in material terms, right? But it's an effort, it's a practical effort mixed with a spiritual effort that will then open up conditions and avenues we could not foresee, and we cannot control the results that are then going to be presented as avenues, pathways the universe is going to provide for, okay? So it's a little less direct, But this idea of sudden wealth, as in God protects me, so it's going to just serve me things on a silver plate because I'm simply going to pray. It's confusing sometimes when we talk about spirituality and law of attraction. And what I see in this card is sudden wealth, in a sense of, yeah, these people would be talking about get rich schemes that are not really connected to a more spiritual view in life. Get rich schemes that promise more than they can actually deliver, suggesting that you shouldn't be listening to these people. And if you came to this bio and it resonates with you, there's a strong, appealing touch to these messages, but you kind of already know that it seems too good to be true, and maybe you're already here, maybe you're here already knowing that and only needs a confirmation that they're too good to be true. In this case, yeah, they are. Let's see what tarot has to tell us. We have the Hermit in reverse. We have the King of Cups also in reverse. And we have the Devil upright, which is a very, very clear message confirming what I have already seen in this card here. Okay, so more details in the message is clear here. You have people approaching you. It could be one person, it could be two people, could even be a group, but the strong message here is one person up to two people. This is the strongest message. Since there are a lot of people watching, it could be a group of people. You could be seeing this also in sites, in posts, etc. It could be echoing, because this is how things work, right? A friend tells you something and it's a get rich scheme, and then you tune into this energy of get rich schemes or methodologies to get instant success. And then all of a sudden you have ads popping up in your timeline of similar get rich schemes, and you start thinking, I'm not doing enough. These are signs from the universe. And what they're saying is, be careful. It seems like you have just started getting out of a more isolated phase in which you were doing you and you were focusing on the growth of your own work, but you felt the need to start talking to more people, to start opening to the impressions and opinions of more people. And I see with this Hermit card in reverse here, this process is amazing for you. It's not a matter of you shouldn't listen to all people. I see that around you, you have now pretty good people when it comes to counselors, and people that are in tune with your energy and that can give you amazing pieces of advice entering your life and that you really listen to. But there is this person, or up to two people, I see for most of you, that are still trying to convince you that things could be easier and that there are shortcuts to the path that you've been building so carefully in this more isolated phase. You needed to go, this is what I see, you needed to go in isolation, not only due to external constraints, but mostly because you needed to put your head in its rightful space and kind of recover your center yourself and understand your mission in this world. And you did that, and Spirit's congratulating you for that. And now, of course, there's another level of participation in the world in which you decided to open up and start listening to people again. And this process is beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with that comes the need of also filtering, right? Which is the whole purpose of this reading, really. And it seems like you're attracting this person or these two people that are still talking about get rich schemes and could possibly deviate you from the path that you've carefully built in your previous period of isolation. Now, the piece of advice here that I said so clear with this King of Cups in reverse is do not indulge in these ideas that seem so wonderful, because of course during your trajectory you become tired. It is too good to be true. You should not be listening to this person, to people here, okay? It is too good to be true, but it's also very tempting because you get tired throughout your development here. So learn to rest when you're tired. Learn that resting, recuperating, rejuvenating is not synonymous of giving up. It's just something you need to do from time to time. Learn that not everybody who is around you has something positive to contribute. And most of all, learn that when these people present you with something that seems too good to be true, you are already mature enough due to this previous process of isolation and centering you did to filter what's for you and what's not for you. You've already learned your lesson. Do not indulge in this kind of compulsive behavior of trying to shortcut your own life, okay? Learn to rest whenever you're tired, and then you restart, and you're going to see the fruits of your labor, because the last card is the devil. And the devil here in this representation, let me take a look at that. The devil here in this representation shows two people, as usual, two people which are chained to its hands, right? But see, these people are really, really small here. Normally they are not that small in other representations. And this devil, it's also a confirmation that there may be two people bringing get rich schemes to you, okay? And this devil is upright, so it's talking about the mastering of the material part of life. You already know, you've already learned that in order to bring abundance to your life, you need to like what you do, finding ways of expressing yourself, liking what you do, and working hard and being grateful for whatever comes to you. You already know these three principles, okay? These three very important principles. And that there are no shortcuts available when it comes to these three principles that actually bring and conserve your abundance, no matter how chaotic the world around you may seem at a certain given moment. This influxes and inflows of money, they come in cycles. So no matter how scary a certain moment may sound, it's all ups and downs. It's the wheel of fortune. As long as you keep working hard and being thankful for whatever you get and liking what you do, these three principles you've already learned and you can apply them. But of course, expanding in the sense of listening to other people is important, because they are going to then collaborate with your views on the world, and that's what we're here to do. We're all interdependent. But sometimes this expansion brings information that's not really information. It's just other people's perspectives, other people that are not in tune with these three principles, that are meant to show you how much you've already learned, more than being followed. So in the case of these two people that are trying to bring you get rich schemes, sorry, you're not supposed to listen. You are already more evolved than that, let's say. I don't like this expression really, but this is something that you've already learned. Do not consider their opinions when it comes to how you could get catapulted. It's not up to you to find a way to shortcut anything. It's up to the universe, and it's instantaneous to match your energetic pattern once you're ready for an upgrade, okay? So this is very important for you to understand right now. Your energy levels are rising. Once you're ready for an upgrade, it will come naturally and instantaneously. There's no time frame or time limit for what the universe can change in your life. It can change like that. This is true, and this is how miracles work. But you are a co-constructor of the miracle, so it's not up to you to know when the result will come. It's up to you to work on your energy so that it can come. Okay? So I hope that this reading has helped. Please feel free to share. Oh, I have one more card. Sorry. This card is from the Romance Angels Oracle deck, and it's meant to be used as a metaphor, not to talk about romance really, because I find that this deck in particular brings messages about relationships in general. So it's either a confirmation or maybe an extra piece of information talking about the relationship between you and these people who are talking, just as an extra piece of information. And the card we have here is love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So consider this as a metaphor, not as something talking about romance, unless you feel like there's a specific romantic message for you here. But as a metaphor, what I see here is that you're still listening to these people maybe because you still feel that that these people are very attractive. They have it all. They are very appealing, not only because the message they're bringing is of instant money and gratification, but also because there's something about them, either physically or intellectually, that you feel like you do not have. So there's an extra message in this reading that is, you also have these qualities that you so admire in these people. You are very attractive to these people, and sometimes you fail to see that. That's why they keep on trying to give you pieces of advice that are not the best for you in this time in your journey, okay? So instead of listening to them and being so literal about it, instead of not listening to your better judgment when it comes to how negative taking these shortcuts could be, try to analyze what you think is so attractive about them and why you keep on listening, and understand that you need to love yourself first, and that you have some of these qualities yourself, and that you're enough to follow your own path. You don't need their validation in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So back to what I was saying, I hope this message has helped you. And if you feel like it, if you feel that if you feel comfortable to do so, please just share with me in the comment section how this message applies, or maybe a little bit more of detail on your particular situation, and leave a like. I hope to see you here again. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to receive notifications on my following videos. Bye-bye. Okay, so if you've selected our last group, pile number 4, this is your reading on People Talk, but should you listen? Really love this title. So I was told you need to see the cards for this reading in detail, and so I'm going to try to do my best to show you the details of the cards. And the card I have here for you is number 15, the Lovers. I was told this card was going to talk about who is talking, right, for this specific message, and the content of the message. So with the Lovers and number 15 and this beautiful representation here, I have some possibilities for who's talking and one possibility for the topic. This pile is my romantic pile, okay? And the person talking could either be your romantic partner, if you're with someone right now, if you are in a committed relationship right now, in any level of commitment you choose to engage in, or it could be your future partner, in a sense of someone you haven't already met, but is already sending signs through someone or through some mechanism that is showing up in your life, and this is a little bit more abstract, so I'm going to explain that. Let me leave this card here so I think you can see it better, admire it better, and even print it if you want. Okay, so in the case of a partner, it's really very simple. It's the person you're with right now, and it's talking about your relationship. Then we'll get further details on that with the tarot cards about if you should listen, if you shouldn't listen, and I'm going to see if I can channel more information too. But in the case of someone you haven't already met, someone that is in the horizon, right? Be it, you can assign different names for this person. It could be, maybe you call it your soulmate, maybe you call it simply your future partner, maybe you call it, I don't know, your star-crossed lover. It doesn't matter. But in the case of a person who has not already materialized in your life, these people can talk to us even before they materialize in our lives, through songs, through messages we see online that have a repeating pattern to it. So maybe with the title of this video is People Talk, but should you listen? Maybe you've been receiving messages, even incarnated messages in the voices of your friends and other people that seem to be repeating. Maybe you're listening to the same sentences or similar sentences that are being brought by your friends, repeating messages in songs, repeating messages in social media, and you kind of see a pattern, right? They're all saying the same thing, and they're all talking about love, and you feel like this anticipation. You don't know where this is coming from. It could be coming from your soulmate. It could be coming from your future partner. Because when two people are connected and they are about to meet, they are predestined to meet, they have already kind of signed a contract to meet, there is this future possibility of meeting. They a lot of times start communicating because they come into the physical presence of each other, okay? So the people talking could be, or the person talking, better saying, could be the person you're involved with, or a person that you're about to be involved with. And if it's a person you're about to be involved with, this could be coming through many different manifestations all around you. What I can say is that if that's the case, you would know. You would be feeling something like, oh my God, now I'm listening to songs and they all seem to be talking to me about a certain issue. They all seem to be talking directly to my heart. Or suddenly all of my friends want to talk about the same subject. Or suddenly all of my friends who are involved with someone, they are talking about the same subject, and it seems to engage with me somehow. I feel connected to what they're saying at a different level, okay? So, okay. The other thing that I'm hearing with this card is that whoever is talking, be it your partner, your real partner, or the person who is coming into your life, this incoming person, they are talking about the need for more affection, demonstration of affection, okay? So it's like they're saying, I really cannot feel, or I really do not know, do not understand through your physical interactions, through the way you move around in this world, your gestures, your attitude, your physical manifestations of affection. I really don't know. I get confused from time to time if you really love me or if you're really open to a relationship. So applying it to both scenarios. If this is your partner and it's talking about that, the application is very easy to understand. It's like, it's hard for me to know if you are still interested in me sexually, if that's something that you're interested in, because not all, I don't know if I feel like, I don't know why I feel I have to explain that, but I'm going to explain. I'm sorry if I'm offending someone, but I feel like I have to put it out there. Not all couples, not all relationships, monogamous or not, are based on sexual intercourse. But okay, I've put it out there. But if this is something, a level of intimacy you're interested in, it's like the person saying, I don't know, based on your attitudes, if you're still interested in me in sexual terms, if you're still interested in me in romantic terms, if we are still connected, if we're still in sync. And this could come in sentences like, you don't look at me the same way anymore, you don't touch me the same way anymore, we don't talk like we used to, things like that. But it could also come in more in deeper manifestations, just like this person is isolating, this person is getting more of an independent routine. I'm not judging, I'm not saying this is positive or negative, but I'm just saying communication is showing, or is based on the fact that this person is questioning, not questioning really. This person knows that you love them, but they know that you love them, but it's getting harder for them to understand where you stand in this relationship in terms of affection, okay? And if it's an incoming person, it's a person you haven't already met, it's like they're saying, I don't feel like you're ready to fully express your affection, be it physically, be it in terms of an attitude, etc. I feel like you're a bit closed off, or at least I know the extent of your feelings, but it's hard for me to grasp, because when it comes to manifesting it in an external world, it's a little bit hard to assess. It's hard to assess in the external world how you feel. So maybe what's keeping us apart is the need to develop more outer manifestations of your affection. Okay, I hope I'm making myself clear. So with tarot, let's see what we have more. We have the Nine of Cups upright, and this representation here is like a trip, right? It's like a it's a ship, and we have all of the 9 cups here. It's like taking your treasure to a new environment, right? Traveling with your treasure. And then we have the 8 of Wands, which indicates movement. And finally we have, no, sorry, yeah, it's the 8 of Wands, sorry. Yeah, indicating movement. And we have the 8 of Cups in reverse. It's funny because when I think I said 8 of Cups here, and I hadn't yet seen the 8 of Cups, which is in reverse here. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So the 2 scenarios again. The first scenario, the person talking to you is someone you're already with, having a relationship with. In this case, I see this person saying, almost like, I don't see this person really judging this lack of demonstration of affection. It could be, of course, because we cycle throughout the day, so maybe when this person is a little bit more impatient, they could say something like, I need you to show me more. But I see this person is like observing the process and saying, I don't really know how you feel about me based on your external attitudes, okay? But they feel the affection. That's why they're staying. That's why they are engaging in this relationship. They feel within, but they don't see its demonstrations. And the level to which, because there are many people watching, the level to which they complain about it or judge it, it really depends on each relationship. But I see that in general, they're not complaining, they are observing, and it causes you to kind of cringe a little bit, and or maybe, you know, it presses your buttons a little bit. Oh my god, I said a little bit, but sorry, a little bit. But what they're saying here on whether you should listen or not, because we get kind of confused. Is it just the way I am, and this person needs to accept it, or should I change something? Just as a reminder, I'm talking about situation number one, and then I'll talk about situation number two, in which the person hasn't already showed up in your life. So be patient with me. The level to which we get confused about the level to which we should change, right? Because maybe this is just the way we are, and it's a level, it comes to whether this person should accept me, or we should actually look into the situation and negotiate and try to change something. And it's also about whether we want to change or not. It can get kind of confusing. So what they're saying here is it's more complicated than just simply listening to them or not listening to them, because you're already engaged in a relationship. And with this Eight of Cups here, sorry, this Nine of Cups here, it's kind of like, for some of you, what I see is that this relationship has reached a point in which your affection is really elsewhere. This could talk about elsewhere because you have other activities that call more your attention at this moment, and that's why you are not able to showcase your love or your affection so much, because I have a card of being fulfilled, but also represented by this ship here. So taking elsewhere my affection, and lots of movement. So something happened, and then I have the Eight of Cups in reverse, but it not necessarily represents leaving this relationship, right? And then in this case, it's just listen to the person, but not necessarily change. Just try to communicate to the person that, yeah, I'm paying attention somewhere else because I need this time, but I'm not going to leave this relationship. Of course, if you are paying attention to another person, if you're engaging with another person romantically and you're within a monogamous relationship, then you will need to renegotiate the terms of your relationship, because a simple matter of responsibility, right? So sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry for the lightning changing, but my battery got cut off and I really had to recharge. But as I was talking about, the idea here, if we're talking about the first option, is that your partner is talking to you about this distance they're feeling, or not distance, but they're talking about the fact that they do not see an expression of your affection, and that's due to your affection actually going to something else or someone else. And if it's someone else, that was what I ended up talking here before this pause. Then of course, if it is a monogamous relationship, then you should talk to them and negotiate whichever terms you need to negotiate for your relationship to keep on moving. Because I don't know, of course you could end up deciding that if your affections are going someplace else in terms of another person or another relationship configuration, this might not work for you as in your actual current relationship. But I don't see with this Eight of Cups in reverse here this any sort of separation in whatever you have going on with this partner right now. I see that for some of you in this first scenario we're talking about here, we could be talking about a polygamous or polyamorous, not polygamous, I'm sorry, but a polyamorous relationship, because there's this indication of maybe two people talking. Okay, it could be more, but as I said, there's an indication that there's someone talking, or one person talking, or two people talking. But but anyway, I see that if your affection is going elsewhere, they can feel it in your attitude. They kind of miss the kind of attitude you had, be it sexual, sensual, or you name it. They can feel a difference in energy. They know you still love them, you're still affectionate towards them, but yeah, there's a part of your affectionate energy that is going somewhere else. And I don't feel like this relationship is going to end. The relationship you have with them is going to end, but what I do feel is that these terms need to be renegotiated, because of course tarot offers no, it has nothing to say in terms of judgment of which kind of relationship is going to work or not. This is up to you to decide. But what I see first and foremost is that they are missing clear communication on this issue. So something that because the name of this video is what are people saying? People talk, but should you listen? It's like your partner or partners are talking, and you should listen in the sense of emotional responsibility. You should listen um, when it comes to opening communication and even soul searching, in order to recognize that your affections are going elsewhere. And if these affections going elsewhere, because we have the 9 cups here, so this could be talking about people, this could be talking about projects. If your affections are going somewhere else, because you really need to focus right now in creative projects and professional projects of any kind that are also creative projects, and any other kind of endeavor, you should listen to what your partner or partners are saying in terms of explaining what's going on, and explaining that you need this time, explaining that you need this moment, and not necessarily changing your attitude, but maybe talking about the fact that you don't mean to leave this relationship behind, but you just need this time, you need this break, explaining why this turn of events and this turn of affection elsewhere is something that strengthens your connection to yourself. Because this is what I see going on here, is a momentum time. Your momentum talks about needing to put your energy elsewhere, and then you need to open your communication about this endeavor, be it or being manifested in the format of another person or another project. Okay, I hope I'm making myself clear. But let's talk a little bit about the second option, which is your person has not yet manifested in this 3D world in your life to you. In this case, as I've said before, they are kind of saying through signs, through songs, through other kinds of indications, that they are feeling you are not ready, or you are not totally open. Help me here, guides with a better word. It's like your energies are also elsewhere, your affection are elsewhere, and then the message changes a little bit on whether you should be listening to that or not. It's kind of like they're saying, yes, you should listen to the signs, in the sense of they are going to come after you go through this phase in which you're exploring other options, because you actually need these other options to give more speed to your life, so that when they come, you can recognize them for what they truly are, your soulmates and the people that are meant to be with you, and build some solid foundation for this relationship manifested in the 3D world. Now let me try to rephrase that. It's something like, whatever you have going on in terms of affection, in terms of what you're engaging with right now, it's truly important, because it's what's going to allow you to recognize them once they enter your life. It's something like that. It seems to me like you're experiencing lots of movement in terms of collaborations with other people and projects, etc. You're traveling. Your attention is not necessarily in the one, even if you may feel like this person's coming, and you feel the imminence, you feel this, not anxiety, but you feel like this person's coming, and you feel like the message is trying to talk to you. Should you listen? Should you start looking? And then if this is the kind of doubt you have, is like, no, you shouldn't focus your energy on looking for the right person, because the right person is there, is already kind of communicating with you. And what they're saying is, whatever you're going through right now, these emotions that you're going through adventurously in your life, they are necessary for you to recognize them once you show up. It's kind of like they're saying, if you don't go through whatever you're going through right now, once they arrive, you are not going to realize that they are the person. This is very interesting, that they are the person who are supposed to be with you. There's something that you're learning right now about yourself, about these other people, that is responsible for valuing the contribution that they are going to make to your life once they arrive. Okay, so it's kind of, there's an order of events that needs to be respected. So it's almost like the best thing you can do to manifest them in your life is to take full adventure, full adventure, but also full advantage of whatever you have going on right now, because it's, once they come, it's like you are going to get characteristics of every single project, every single person, every single thing you're learning right now, and you're going to recognize these characteristics in them, in their physical manifestation. So it's going to come up, it's going to almost like an alchemical marriage, or like you're going to match so beautifully, because you're going to feel like you have what it takes to fully collaborate with them, and you're going to see your number on them because of whatever you're experiencing right now. Okay, so I have one last card that is from the Romance Angels Oracle. And originally, since I didn't know the content of the messages, or who would be the people talking here and who would be saying what, was meant as a confirmation, or maybe I find that this oracle is really useful to talk about relationships in general, and not only romantic relationships. So it was assigned a role in this reading to talk about the characteristics of the people talking, furthermore than whether you should listen to them or not. And since this is a romantic reading, we could have it both ways, as a metaphor, but also as a strictly romantic indicator. The card you have here is free yourself. It's time to take control of your life, but it's in reverse. I'm going to show it to you upright. And it's a unicorn, right? But it was actually being shown to me in reverse. So it kind of clarifies the romantic situation, but also can be used as a metaphor, which was its originally intention for the reading as a whole. It doesn't matter if we're talking about an ongoing relationship or about this kind of messages for a person who is still to come. You are undergoing a process of freeing yourself, your true nature, finding and freeing your true nature and essence, okay? It's time to take back control of your life. And if you're doing that inside an existing relationship, of course, this is going to impact the person who's with you. So, yes, you should listen to what this person is talking about when they, or these people, when they sort of observe that it's harder to see your demonstrations of affection now in your everyday life. But it's also important that you assert yourself and assert your communication in order to be emotionally responsible, and to guarantee to them that your affection is still there, no matter in which of the cases we've mentioned here. And if we're talking about someone who's still entering your life, then about to enter your life, then you're undergoing a process of expressing yourself in multiple ways, and all of the people and situations that you're exploring are kind of showing a multitude of rainbow colored effects, auric effects you have going on, your soul's craving for, so that once this person comes, you can actually see them for who they actually are, your partners for life. Because when we don't know who we are, we sometimes even reject the best partners for us. So this is quite kind of what I have for you here. I hope you enjoyed the message, and please let me know how it applies to how you're feeling and what you're seeing about your situation right now. I would love to know if you're comfortable to share. Share a like, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, so that you can receive other messages like that. Thank you so much for staying up to the end of this reading, and bye bye.